Hi guys, and welcome back to Honey We're Home. I am Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
We have quite the episode for you guys today.
Yeah.
Quite the episode. Before we get started, we have a few, what do you call them? What do they call them in church? You're like, they're like not action items, like points of business.
I haven't been to church in forever.
Do you know what I'm talking about? In the beginning of the sermon, and you're like, this is like a business meeting. Can we like...
Church of State. No. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping items. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have housekeeping items.
Church of State.
Church of State. Here's the thing. First, I wanted to bring up a winter arc. And can we just actually take a State of the Union on like, for those of you who don't know what a winter arc is, in case you are one of those people that's not on TikTok.
This is where TikTok's getting insane. It's just one of those things that, like, I feel like we branded.
Stop making up new names for things.
And I know I'm the one who made us do a whole episode about, like, getting you through Q4, which is essentially, like, the winter arc.
Well, yeah, but that's normal.
Yeah. Like, we need to just, like, this winter arc. Everybody's like, use this time to get really successful and, like, get motivated and get driven.
The idea of it was like there's a certain day in October, like the first week of October, let's just call it October 3rd. Yeah. And it was like, if you have not made this plan yet, make it by October 3rd because you technically have X number of days left into the end of the year, which is technically enough days to accomplish certain goals so that you go into 2025 with
your
the best version of yourself versus getting to January 1st and being like, what do I want to work on this year?
Yeah.
This is hibernation season. Like, I feel like this has been around for a while.
We need to stop putting so much pressure on Q4. Like, what if people just want to lay?
And well, here's the other thing that I was thinking about this morning, because I was like, I'm not opposed to the idea of like, we can call it a winter arc if we want to, like getting in shape in the off season or whatever, or just reassessing each quarter and being like, what do I want to get more into? Like for me, for example, the other day I was like, I haven't sketched in a while. Yeah. I haven't designed anything in a while. Like I sketch art, I sketch designs. Like I don't share it with the world. Like this is just my creative time, my creative outlet. I haven't done it in a while. The other day I was like, I can tell that I'm missing a portion of like fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, I kind of want to just like spend the afternoon sketching or something. That's when I know, like, I'm like, you gotta start doing the things you enjoy a little bit more, like bring them back into your routine.
Right. Like stop scrolling on the internet and like live your life.
I've been scrolling for
out
too
of your
long.
phone into your life.
Yeah.
That's
and I felt like the little gap.
I do that. I find that I'm watching people do the things that I want to be doing. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Right.
Like the creative things. Like I will see somebody sketching and not that I'm like
there are things that you like to paint.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, that girl's painting. And I'll like watch a video of her doing it and not actually.
So like we all do this from time to time. I don't think this should reserve to be for the end of the year to be like, what do I need to get back on track with? Because that timing happens differently for everybody. The second thing that I just thought of, though, is this is your hibernation time, right? That is already allotted for Q1 for a specific reason. Q4 is holidays.
Right.
Like, there's a reason that Q4 is not grind. Q4 is like we got to the end of the year. We have Hanukkah, we have Thanksgiving, we've got Rosh Hashanah, we've got Christmas, we've got all of these holidays.
I think for some people it is grind. Like I know for like salespeople, it's like end of the year, end of the quarter, big like finish out
at
strong.
Work.
But that's the thing. I think people like, it's okay to use it as a chance to grind in some areas of life, but also just like boundaries and balance. Take a step back and use it as a chance to also
enjoy,
celebrate that you made it through the fucking year alive.
That's what I like. Why would you put all of this is like this winter arc is this like super, to me, chaotic energy of like being really, really disciplined.
Yeah.
We have stacked all the holidays at the end of the year, no matter which way you want to paint it. Careers are crazy at the end of the year already. Even for us, we're conditioned to be like, you need to be getting on your Q4 deals and Q2 because holiday, like the whole nine. There is nothing like Q1 is notoriously slow for everybody in business. Mm-hmm. And there are not holidays as, you know, like you've got Valentine's Day. So that is a time to have something to focus on and be disciplined and hibernate. And it's, at least where we are, it's cold. It works. I think we should just all stay on the Q1 path, because to miss out on like the fun and festivities because you're being like,
it's just everything in balance. Also, like winter arc, like the branding of it, it's like character arc. I get where it's coming from, but like, why do we have to give ourselves
It sounds like villain origin story. I don't know why, but it's giving the same vibe. Villain origin story and winter arc. Like, it doesn't sound pleasant to me, but okay, well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
First, we have a funny little story to make us all giggle. A listener sent this few sentences in, and I wanted to share it with the group just to lighten our little mood. Hey, girls, love the podcast. Was wondering if I could share a funny story with you. I was dating this guy. I'm actually not going to say his name. I was dating this guy for like a year, and he made a move on one of my friends. When I found out, I was devastated, but he still begged me to take him back. So to get revenge, I told him I would take him back if he proved he was willing to do anything for me. I made him go to a bar dressed up in a sexy Wonder Woman outfit. With all of her friends. The girls at the bar thought it was hilarious. You can see the photo for yourself. I'm assuming she's not dating this guy anymore, but I think it's really funny. Like, I don't even know if she actually took him back, but she made him think that she was going to take him back if he like completely humiliated himself in this bar, and he did it. And then I would be like, now sayonara.
Revenge. It's like a fantasy football challenge that guys have to do at the end if they lose.
Yes. What's that show? Did you ever watch that show that Mike would love about the league, the fantasy football league?
You brought this up before.
Okay.
No, I think
it's super niche.
I love like when guys have to embarrass themselves publicly.
I just feel like I do think that it was funny. Anyways, okay. Following up to a more serious topic, we did discuss, we did some giggles the other day about things that men didn't know going into pregnancy, and someone said they thought men could get postpartum. So we did have a nice little giggle about it, but a listener did email us something that we didn't know, and so we want to address it on here because honestly, like, it's good for us to learn these things, and then I think that we owe it to everybody else to say, like, sorry, we should not have made light of that. Mm-hmm. She said, I wanted to start by saying I enjoy the podcast and the different perspectives you both bring. That's a nice way of saying we never agree. I enjoyed the spirit and topic of today's podcast, but I wanted to comment on the reactions to the postpartum depression submission from a listener regarding if men can get PPD. This is very personal to me because I suffered from it. I did seek out treatment and I learned a ton about it, including that while it's most common in the birth partner, the other partner can experience it too and are at a higher risk for it if their partner is experiencing it. This can also happen to people who have to go through surrogacy. I understand that the intent of the podcast was to be light and funny, but it is not a laughing matter, especially for someone who has experienced it with their partner following the birth of their child. So I did want to just apologize for having a giggle at that.
Yeah, this is like where I think where we were coming from was more like, oh my God, like kind of shitting on men per usual, just for like, you know, kind of trying to take the spotlight from how the woman's feeling. But we do recognize, like, that's why that whole episode, we both kept saying, like, we can't speak from a place of having postpartum because we've never been there. So we both, sorry for making light of that. I mean, this isn't like we're not like getting canceled. I'm not trying to like,
no, but that's where ignorance gets the best of us. And we're definitely like, we know we don't know anything, but it is where ignorance gets the best of us, and sometimes that can happen. So I feel like the only answer there is like to acknowledge when your ignorance got the best of you, and then because that's something that I just learned, and she actually sent us a bunch of resources that I will now go read because now I'm freaked out about it. If it was gonna happen to someone, it would be John. So now I'm gonna read the whole nine.
Truly,
I'm gonna actually read the name of one of these articles that she sent us, just so if anybody's pregnant and that they want to look this up to kind of, you know. hedge their risk. 1 in 10 dads experience postpartum depression, anxiety, how to spot the signs. That is the name of the article. It is on UT Southwestern Medical Center. So it's utswmed.org. And the name of the article is 1 in 10 dads experience postpartum depression, anxiety, how to spot the signs. This is such a good learning lesson. We honestly probably all should read this, how to spot the signs.
Yes.
Okay.
Homework. Okay.
All right,
Well,
Nikki.
if you guys haven't noticed, this whole, 10 minutes? I don't know. I've just kind of been sitting here like staring into the abyss. And I was like, I don't know if I'll get emotional or not. Listen, I'm probably going to get emotional. I do that when I talk. I might not, though. Sometimes I surprise myself. I'm acting like somebody died, and that's not the case. And you'll hear me do that a lot, too.
No, it's okay.
Just justify. Woo! Okay. Stop getting emotional. I'm also before I even get started, keep in mind, I'm running on such lack of sleep right now. My period's starting soon. So it's a recipe for disaster, but I do feel like this podcast is a safe space. I had a consultation with a therapist yesterday, but until then, did
you like her?
This podcast, yeah, I actually really liked her, and I'm picky.
I know.
Yeah, she was good.
Yay.
She was firm and kind of serious. Which,
you need somebody like that.
In my mind, I was like, oh, why is she so serious?
Yeah.
But then I was like,
and I'm not saying
it's a therapist. She should be serious.
I'm not saying you need someone like that, but I need someone like that too.
Yeah,
that
I need her to wrangle my ass.
Yeah, that was really the only thing that worked for me.
I feel like this podcast is a safe space. Talking to you is obviously a safe space. So I told you this morning, you had this whole beautiful little outline plan. We had emails to give advice on for you guys. We had fall recs. I texted you such a dramatic text.
I said, what's your fall rec? Nikki said, to stay alive.
I go, my fall rec is stay alive. And I told Caroline, I was like, I know we're recording right now, this morning. I feel like I can't fully be my full self and give advice to the listeners and pretend to be happy and talk. Woo! And I just couldn't do that. I couldn't just fake it. So I was like, I just feel like this is a time to, just
I want to hold your hand,
candidly.
So
I'll get
away.
to the fucking point.
Yeah.
So,
but take your time.
I don't even, and again, before I get to the fucking point, I've been going back and forth. Obviously, you guys have heard little teasers of I'm going to share stuff that's been going on in my life with you every week. And I've been going back and forth on how to share. I wanted to gather a bunch of thoughts. I wanted to be really organized in this discussion.
Do you want me to ask you questions?
No. I'm just saying feel free. Yes. Feel free to ask questions throughout. But we can just shoot the shit. But I'm just saying, no planning went into this. So if I'm a little all over the place, please forgive me.
Yeah. Okay.
So
why don't you tell us tell us what you have been going through, simply.
Okay. So right now we're going through IVF. So my hormones are fucking whack.
Right.
But, yeah. So right now I'm not doing anything. Okay, so Mike and I have been going through IVF. We are in between right now. We just finished a cycle, and we are most likely going to start our second cycle. By the time
you did one cycle.
Right.
Okay.
By the time this episode comes out, depending on when my period happens, we'll probably start our second cycle. And mind you, when I say do IVF, I didn't know this before, but that means going through the egg or embryo freezing process. Also, guys, throughout this discussion, disclaimer, if I do get any of the medical shit wrong, don't come for me because it is so much information and I'm not a doctor. So fact check me. And
you're survival mode. So you're the patient. You're not.
Yeah. So we are freezing eggs and we're freezing embryos.
When did you and Mike decide that you wanted to start trying to have
Great question.
a baby?
So I confirmed and looked it up this morning just in case I did share. Planning went in. March 2023, Maldives with Kenny Flowers.
Okay, so March 2023,
we pulled the goalie. We said to each other, you know, it might be fun to have a little Maldives baby. What if we conceive in the Maldives? I think I'm ovulating. Let's do it.
Right.
And at this point, I know I've talked on this podcast too. Like I'm going to share with you guys my mindset throughout different points because I think that'll help.
Yeah.
At that point, we're like, you know what? We're 30s. We're in our 30s. We're in a decent financial situation. I was still at Betches at the time. You know, my influencer thing was kind of popping off. We were like, if we get pregnant, let's do it.
And you don't have to explain it for anybody.
Yeah,
you know?
like, and we were like, you know, it might take a couple months. It might take 2 seconds. Like, let's go for a baby.
There will be people that say that you waited too long, and there'll be people that say you started too early and that it's no stress. You know what I mean? You can't win, so you don't have to justify wanting to build a family.
Right. Well, and I think the reason I sound like I'm justifying it is because I've had such complex feelings about everything this whole time. Like, I know I want the family, obviously. Why am I like sitting here falling to that?
Because I think it's
I'm
a
so
lot.
tired. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know I want a family. I've made that clear to everybody. And I just, like, obviously with Mike, and I've had complex feelings because, like, I've just always been like, but when exactly is right for me? Like, I'm not as far as in my career as I want to be. Other people might look from the outside and be like, oh, she is, but I'm just not. I haven't accomplished everything. But those are typical mom feelings that we've been having on this podcast. But, like, whatever. So March 2023, we pulled the goalie and we were like, let's have a Maldives baby. And didn't happen, obviously. And so, like, throughout March, April, May, June, throughout those next couple months, throughout the summer, you know, we were like, okay, let's still just, like, have fun with it. I think it's all hazy, but I think around this time,
I have a slight recollection. I think it was around September of last year
is when
you had a feeling that you wanted you guys to get checked. And
no, it was earlier.
Because it wasn't far. And I think that this is, and you can talk to this about what that gut feeling was for you. Mm-hmm. And because I think that the advice you got was, you guys haven't really been trying that long. Just keep trying. It's going to be okay. But you felt like, something feels off and I want us to get checked.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I think we're fine. But yeah, like throughout those past months, throughout that summer, we were trying. I think at this point I had like started tracking ovulation. I definitely did, because I remember being like, this sucks. Like, this ruins the sex life. Like, it just makes it a chore. And so maybe I started tracking a little early. Okay, it's all coming back to me. Yes. So I started tracking like within the first couple months, which like some people don't do. They just kind of like let it rip and have sex when you have sex. And if a baby comes, great. So I was like, no, let me track, like, because after those first couple months of it actually not working, I was like, let me just see, like, if it actually works during ovulation. And it didn't. And then, yeah, in like August or September, I remember, because I was at that Nicole Miller thing in the Hamptons with Christy, Party of Six. And she came on the podcast. She's been like, you know, praying for me. But I took a pregnancy test. Highly don't recommend doing this, by the way, with a bunch of my friends, new friends and old, in a bathroom in this mansion in the Hamptons at this party. And it was negative, and I got like upset. That was in
July. Let's just call it July. Yeah.
End of July. Yeah. That was end of July into August. So yeah, between August and September, at some point, we saw doctors, and I don't want to get into like the nitty gritty. Some shit in my life has to be personal.
Right. You don't owe that to anybody.
Thank you. But yeah, basically, we were told by our doctor and others that it was going to be really hard for us to conceive naturally. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a lot more difficult than people. So after that, I kind of like had this like weird epiphany, and I was just like, I mean, both of us too, were like, maybe it hasn't been the time yet. Like, maybe it just isn't our time. Like, it'll happen, but, maybe it'll happen naturally. Let's just keep on going. The tracking of the ovulation was truly plummeting our sex life, which then plummets our relationship. And our relationship just like, it's a test on your relationship. It really is. It puts a strain on it. And it just like makes things, again, not as fun, a chore.
Point, you sort of stop with the ovulation tracking.
Yeah.
But you guys both start doing things to, like, under doctor advice, to increase your chances of getting pregnant naturally.
Yeah, just to prime the bodies of natural. And listen, like, it's so hard. I'm a big holistic believer in, like, natural things. I think a cup of tea can solve world hunger.
Oh my God.
What am I saying? But you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, tea heals all. Like, I'm a natural person, but then again, I'm also surrounded by doctors.
Right.
And I also believe doctors. And it's so hard when, like, you do have doctors telling you the truth, which is that it's going to be tough. And it's hard to believe in the natural things, but, like, I'm always a trier of things. Like, I love people to death when they try to help with things. I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, oh, so-and-so tried to give me a helpful piece of advice. Fuck them. Like, the suggestions and stuff, like, that doesn't annoy me as much as you would think it would. But at some point, you're just like, all right, I got to do science. I've got to revert to science. Like, I'm not going to just, like, sit here hoping and praying for, like, I'm not going to sit here and hope for, like, a cup of mint tea to get me pregnant.
Yeah.
Again, to the tea. But, so basically, fast forward throughout, like, this past January into now, and this past year, 2024, I bought this, like, Mira device that's supposed to really track
super highly recommended.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I've heard of people getting pregnant off of that when you're able to, like, really precisely track your ovulation, and that still didn't work. And again, with the random tears. And again, like,
I think it's okay.
I think the complex, like, me feeling guilty part of all this kind of is, like, I'm like, obviously we're trying, so yes, I want a baby, but at the same time, like, there's still something, like, in my mind kind of, like, holding me back, being like, well, maybe it isn't the right time yet. And then that makes me feel guilty because people who are going through IVF, like, are like, we want a baby and we want a baby fucking yesterday. And I think the hardest part for me has just been, like, the knowing that it's really hard for us naturally. So when we do really want to go yesterday, which these days feels like now sometimes, that's when I'm like, well, it sucks because it's going to be harder. But okay, so fast forward throughout the year, like, whatever, we're just like,
is the guilt, like, a big thing that you're feeling?
Yeah. I just, like, it's just complex feelings. Like, again, like, I just feel like, yeah, I mean, you talk to people, and, like, I think even our doctor, like, thinks we want a baby yesterday. And at one point, when we were talking to our doctor about, like, more seriously doing IVF, and she's great, by the way, she was like, Nicole, like, what's kind of holding you back? I sense some hesitation. And I told her at one point, I was like, I guess, like, I really just wanted to, like, have that exciting moment of conceiving naturally. Like, I wanted to find out the surprise pregnancy test and, have the moment where we film and make a cute little video for TikTok. And don't get me wrong, this isn't all, like, driven by fucking TikTok. But, like, yeah, I just wanted all those exciting natural feelings that come with finding out you're pregnant together and it being such an exciting thing. And I don't know, I just was like, also IVF is a process. Fast forward to now, what are we in, October?
Yeah, let's say, when did you decide
I think
that you were ready to go in and seriously get the information about
doing it? Good question. I think, earlier in the year and the summer.
Before your trip to Spain.
Yeah,
right?
Before my trip to Spain, because at one point I was going to potentially do this in the middle of the summer, and my egg retrieval would have been right before my trip to Spain.
So let's talk about that though, because when you got the information and you were like, I'm coming to terms with wanting to do this.
Yeah.
Even after you saw your doctor and you got all of the information and you got the medicine and the shots and everything, etc.
Yeah, because I got the shots months ago.
Right. There was an entirely different conversation that happened after that was, what's the right, now we need to choose the right time of the year to do this.
Yeah. And at that point, again, like there are some people out there who are desperate for a baby yesterday. And they're like, got the shots, doing it now when I can, when my next period rolls around. We're fortunate that like we are, quote, young. We have that time or whatever. So throughout the past couple of months, we were like, let's pick a good time, because truly this past summer, there was no good time.
Right.
Travel, we were running all over the place. There was always something that was like preventing us from doing it. And on top of it, like you get bloated and stuff in the summer. I was like, let's wait till the fall. Like, don't want to be going to Spain all post-egg retrieval-y. Right. So yeah, we were like, okay, we're home for a minute. It's the right time is the fall. Let's aim for then. And even then, like going in, we were like, do we push it back one more month? I forget why, but like, and then we were like, no, you know what? There's no time like the present. Let's let it rip in October.
So it has taken a lot of planning.
Yeah.
It's beyond just the days of shots and retrieval and everything else. It's just.
Well, and it's a whole like the egg stimulation, the follicle growing, the shots, the stimulations are like 10 to 14 days-ish. Again, don't quote me. It's all measured on how your body's growing the eggs. So literally, we have been in and out of the city going to our fertility clinic for... So
when did you start? When did you officially start?
August 2nd was our first day of October 2nd was our first day of
stimulation.
Stimulations, yeah.
Okay.
I remember because I've had these red nails the whole time.
And so that's been crazy for you.
Yeah, and today is October 23rd. So, yeah, I mean, it's such an exhausting process. We've been in and out of the city. Mike has driven me to every single appointment because he's the best. And he's been so amazing throughout all of this. But yeah, so we started stimulations October 2nd, in and out of the city. Everything was growing well.
And what were you aiming to get?
So that's the thing. Like our doctor was like purposefully vague. Again, it's all so much information, and I've learned so much throughout this. And I just want to say, like, we are so fortunate to even be able to be doing this, because so many people out there are in a position where they desperately want a baby again yesterday.
Yeah.
And they can't, and that breaks my heart. And they can't afford IVF, and they can't, that's just heartbreaking. And again, like, there are some people out there, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent now, not answering your question, but I will. I'll circle back. There's some people out there that are told by doctors that they are infertile. And I can't imagine how those people are feeling. And I'm so sorry if you're listening out there. And I know there's, things that you can do in terms of like building a family in other ways. But I'm so sorry to those people that are in, quote, worse positions than we are. But yeah, so where was I? What'd you ask?
I asked, oh my God, I totally forgot. I asked, what was your goal going into the first round of IVF? And your doctor was being vague, but you did have a...
That's the thing. Like, my doctor was never like, we want to get 20 eggs. Like,
yeah.
I just want as many healthy, my goal and Mike's goal, as many perfectly healthy embryos as possible, so that we can put them on ice and use the first one probably in the next couple months and have an embryo and build babies from these embryos.
Right.
So whether that's, 10, I do know our doctor recommended, first thing she asked is, how many kids do you guys want? We said as of right now, 3. Again, that might, I always recognize that might change when I have kids, but I've always had a dream of 3 kids, and Mike's dream is my dream. So love him to death for that. So yeah, we told her 2 to 3 kids. 3 kids. And she recommended, and doctors will recommend 2 to 3 embryos, healthy embryos per kid that you want. So that means like 6 to 9 healthy embryos. Again, preferably like 9, just in case. You never know if they won't stick or if they don't work or if they're not healthy. So this first cycle, again, started October 2nd. We kept going in and eggs were growing beautifully. I know my doctor had me on a high dose of the hormones, and I'll share. I've been filming myself taking these shots. I'll retroactively share. It's just like a process. But yeah, so we fast forward to retrieval, which was last Tuesday. Yeah. Mind you, this is why we were like laughing on the episode, because I had moved Saturday. Egg retrieval was Tuesday. We thought it was going to fall that weekend.
And then Nikki's like, and Mike's getting a surgery. And that's what it was. And I said, are you guys okay?
There's a lot going on.
Are you crazy?
It's all timing too. Time, the way timing's working out, it's just making us do like everything in our fucking lives at once, you know? So, yeah. So
your retrieval was last Tuesday.
Retrieval was Tuesday.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to say, I was terrified to start this process because TikTok, everything will be like, you're going to be so bloated. You're going to have acne like crazy. You're going to be hormonal. You're going to want to lay on the couch all day and not do anything. And yes, while that is the case, I'm sure for some people, I wasn't that bad on the hormones. Like, you guys would check in with me and I was like, yeah, I'm a hormonal crazy bitch, but that's the reg. I'm not.
Yeah. The hormones are like, if you're, at least like as a friend, if you can't deal with your friend's hormones while they're going through this, then like you probably need to check yourself. Like, we all have hormonal issues, some more than others. You know what I mean? Like, that's a side effect of this process. And if that's going to be the thing that you're complaining about rather than just like comforting your friend, like you have a problem.
Well, and I'm already a crazy bitch. So like truly nothing was new.
I think your hormones were ramped up, but like it was, I mean, it was kind of like funny because it was like, you can't
at some points,
you know, like you were yelling a lot, but that's whatever. Like, I mean, it's, how are you going to be upset about that? How are you going to be, you know what I mean?
Also, like, I don't know, like my skin did break out, which was such a buzzkill. You guys know, and in the grand scheme of things, you're like, Nicole, you want a baby? Like, why are you complaining about skin? Just let me complain, because skin is my thing. And I had just gotten my skin. I'm telling you, I healed from within. I told you guys, I got it to the perfect spot. My coconut cold, my sea moss gel was working. It's magic. And just disclaimer, everybody's been like, oh my God, why'd you go off spironolactone? Why'd you go off birth control? All this stuff. I went off fucking forever ago after our honeymoon because I was like, you can't conceive on this stuff.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
In the making. Yeah. Like,
and also I just want to say, you don't have to defend what makes you upset. It's like a million little things. Yeah. Sometimes on a bad day, people who have no other reason to will start screaming, crying because we stubbed our toe, because it's just been a million things all day.
Yeah.
Like I think you're allowed to be upset that.
Yeah. Like I've got to toot myself on the back, toot my horn, whatever the fucking saying is, because throughout all of this, everything we're going through, even like with the move, obviously that's a happy and a good thing, but like stressful, I've handled all this like a champ. Like I really have not dropped a ball throughout all of this. So like go me, because, and like go any woman who has to go through IVF, egg freezing, embryo freezing during anything in life, because even if you don't have other things going on, it's just, again, a process, and it's putting your body, it's literally gaslighting in your body into growing a bunch of follicles and eggs and pumping your body with hormones. Where are we on time? Okay.
So you went in, your eggs were growing. You were having to go into the city every other morning, ultrasounds. The shots there in the morning and at night.
Not all the time, but yes, it got to a point, like I forget however many days into it, you start the morning ones. So you're poked, you're bruised, you're prodded. That was like the worst part for me. One of the shots gave me like a rash every time I did it. Other than
what
that,
about the one that like busted your blood vessel? That was crazy.
That was just like the needle. Yeah.
Right. But it just was like a literal waterfall of blood started coming out of your abdomen.
Oh, that's apparently common. I was like, oh, so I'm dying. I injected an air bubble at one point, which I then Googled that you could die on. Like, it's not fun. There's one video I need to share. It's of me just like bawling in the car, injecting myself in the morning because I had to do it by a certain time. That's another thing, like schedule wise. I had to say no to a lot. Like bridal fashion week, I was like, no, because I had to be home at this certain time to do my shots. It's a lot of mental and physical.
Was it more than you thought it would be? Like all of it, all in together?
It's a lot, but
the mental load,
that's
maybe.
why I also want to say, like, I don't know. It was like, I guess this first time, yes and no. Like, yes, but also I was like, whatever. Like, I was like, ooh, we're going through IVF. Like, in a little way, it was like exciting, and I felt lucky and fortunate to be able to do it. So, whatever. And we were like learning together and like doing the shots together and whatnot. So, it was like almost like a weird, fucked up bonding experience between
like a trauma bond.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, I don't know, whatever. And that's cool. You're like, your body can do this. So, basically, fast forward to past week, we get news from our doctor like 7 days ago that after the egg retrieval last week, they got 15 eggs for me. We find out 12 were mature. Mike gave a sperm sample that day. We find out 9 of them fertilized, which this is all like, quote, pretty good, according to the doctors in my life. Also, special shout out to my sister-in-law, Navi, who has been my absolute lifeline and savior throughout this, our lifeline and savior, and my brother, Chris. Like, she's an OBGYN. You guys have heard me talk about her. She's been so helpful. We need to have her on the podcast. We've been waiting until I share this news to have her on. She is just, I'm going to cry talking about her. She explains things better than any doctor I've ever met, and she breaks it down in such a way that's so digestible and so positive at the same time while also being realistic. So, just got to give her a shout out. So she was telling me, like, she was helping me be optimistic. Like, those numbers are great. You guys have, like, good numbers. However, we were told by her and our doctor, like, that you can expect some drop off. Fast forward to the day 5 blastocyst, which is like, I don't fucking know, honestly, when they grow more. Is this the
genetic testing, or they have to grow?
No, so we are going to do genetic testing. Not every couple does that, but we just want to because we want to make sure the embryos are perfectly healthy that we would eventually transfer. Yeah, so that's happening right now with the first batch. So let me just get to that. But day 5 blastocyst is like a mile marker, basically, that the embryos keep growing till, and if they like, it's for them to measure if they're like growing to a certain point, and they're going to be able to be sent off for testing. So basically, we had from that 9 fertilized, we got the news yesterday. That's why I'm all shooken up, that 3 made it, which people we've told in our lives and stuff are like, 3, great, there's them 3 kids, and that could be the case. Who knows? Maybe we'd be really lucky and have 3 good embryos. Again, this is all if they make it past the genetic testing and past that. But it's just so not what we wanted, and so not as much as I thought and we thought. We've been very optimistic throughout the process until literally like yesterday. And
is that a higher percentage of drop off than they like advised you on, like between 9 fertilized to the 3 made it? Like that's
we wanted
a third made it to blast.
Yeah, it's lower. So we wanted like 4 to 5. We wanted news of 4 to 5 embryos yesterday based on like the numbers thus far. Right. And the person on the phone that told us the news was like, the other ones grew horribly. Used the words grow horribly. It wasn't our doctor. And I was just like, the fuck? Sometimes these fertility clinics,
the bedside
are
manner
insane.
situation is a little rough these days.
Sometimes, and ours, like, we did a lot of research. Mike, bless his heart, is the one who, like, found this one for us, and they've been amazing so far, so I don't want to make it sound, it's NYU Langone, if anybody's wondering. I don't want to make it sound like, yeah, they're not doing great, because we love our doctor, but this random person on the phone that told us the news, we were like, oh God, okay, don't phrase it like that. Grew horribly.
That was like so insensitive.
I was like, ah!
That's like literally so rude.
And so, yeah, so we, 3 just wasn't what we wanted. I think yesterday was the first time that I had this fear that my dream of having 3 kids could potentially not come true. And I know that it's still possible. And now, like, I just, like, was really scared and frustrated yesterday. And so was Mike. And yeah, so that's where we are. And again, I know it could be worse. Worst case scenario is we get no embryos or we, again, like, it could be way worse. So again, to those of you out there that it is way worse, I'm so sorry. And the reason, like, I think it is important to share about this and talk about this is because so many people are facing this right now. And I mean, I saw it when we moved. I, like, started randomly telling all of our neighbors that we'd run into. This is what I do. Like, I was like, you know, we're going through IVF. Like, when I, like, right after meeting somebody, this is why I was like, all right, I need to talk about it publicly on the podcast, because I'm just telling random people on the street. And it's so funny because when I would tell people on the street, they would respond, like, half of them were like, oh my God, you know, my second one is an IVF baby. Or we've been, this one couple, we've been going through IVF and none of our transfers have taken. And it's just like, I feel so bad for everybody who's going through it and not talking about it or doesn't have anybody. Oh, and on top of all of this, literally, no one in your life is more fertile than when you are struggling with fertility. I swear to God, not that I want anyone in my life to go through anything I've felt these past fucking almost 2 years, but
there are a lot of people in your life getting pregnant.
A lot of people in my life are getting pregnant. Mazel tov. I'm not even Jewish, but
I don't even think that's how you say it. I'm so serious.
But they are able to get pregnant. The people in my life are able to get pregnant in 3 seconds. And it's best friends, it's siblings, it's in-laws, it's family members. And then, like, I do have people in my life who, you know, are also going through horrible miscarriages, which I cannot imagine. And I feel so awful for them. But, like, there was a really funny story. Long story short, when Mike and I landed in London, I was coming from Spain, he was coming from States. We met. My flight right before this was turmoil. I almost died. I was like, you know, there's no time like then to really decide you want a baby. So I land with my life alive. The flight almost went down. I'm telling you, the turbulence was so bad. I'm like, I think, you know, we are really ready. We're going to start IVF. I'm feeling optimistic of the future. This was like in August.
This was right after your trip to Mallorca.
Yeah, this was straight from Spain.
Yeah.
And we get in a taxi cab. I smacked my head on accident on the top of it. I was bleeding, crying.
Yeah, you were bleeding.
And my brother, and now that the news is out, I can tell they shared the other day, my brother and sister-in-law, Navi, they're younger than us. They have one boy. Okay, so they FaceTime me. They're like, Nikki, we haven't been able to get a hold of you for a week. Like, yeah, I know you've been in Spain, but, like, we've been trying to FaceTime you. I'm like, oh, hey, guys, what's up? All of a sudden, I hear my little nephew, JJ, go, big brother. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. Mike and I look at each other. I'm holding a coffee cup. I death grip on it. I'm like, yay, so happy for you guys. And then Mike turns to me. And I don't want to share this person's personal news because they ended up actually it not working out early on, which is so fucking awful. But at the time, he turned to me and was like, someone else has also just told me they're pregnant yesterday too. And I was like, I started just bawling. I just, like, And I was like, that's when you know when like your loved ones are telling you that they are conceiving, and which you should be so happy for them. And I have been able to compartmentalize, because in a weird way, I thought I would just like be like really mad at everyone in my life getting pregnant. And you're able to be happy for them because it is so different. It's not yours, it's them. But I'd be lying if I didn't say, you're like, what the fuck? You guys just started 2 seconds ago. And everyone has their own struggles. Like even the people that are able to conceive naturally, like might have fears and struggles, or it might have been taking them a minute. So like, I'm not dogging anybody for being able to conceive naturally. It's just truly, I feel like people out there that are struggling with fertility, everyone else is able to around them sometimes.
I think also that a lot of people might be going through this. And this is like it's not even a theory. It's just a real thing. We're just all kind of entering into this phase of life together. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, people weren't really trying to get pregnant. So a lot of our friends that were getting pregnant, even if it was intentional, it was a little flippant. Like it was kind of like for example, one of my friends that was the first to have a baby. She was like, well, we just decided we would pull the goalie, and then the next week we were like pregnant. You know what I mean? So I think 3 or 4 years ago, your friends that were getting pregnant, it was because, you know, things just happened so quickly. There was such a small subset of people that were even trying. Yeah. So in that subset, if people didn't try immediately, or if they didn't get pregnant immediately, even when trying, they didn't share with us because we were so young that there was no concern for them to see a doctor, because they weren't really like serious about needing to be pregnant. They didn't have that time clock. They didn't have the internal like spiral of this year goes by and what does this mean for next year and the rest. So there were lesser people sharing their pregnancies with us, you know, and if they were, there was a higher chance that it was a small subset of people that did get pregnant quickly. And now we're just surrounded by people where we are in that phase of life where most people are entering wanting to have a baby. And so you've got more people that are struggling, and you've got more people that get pregnant in a normal timeline. Let's call that 3 to 6 months. And you've got more people that are getting pregnant faster. So it is a lot of like, that feels like more people are getting pregnant around you.
That's the thing. Like, like everybody, we're at that point where people are family planning in our 30s.
And it looks different for everybody, and it's probably extremely difficult.
Yeah. Well, and then of course you have like that friend who's like late 30s and magically gets pregnant off 2 seconds. And again, happy for everybody who's getting pregnant, but I'm also allowed to feel, well, and like our parents back in the day, I feel like all like magically got pregnant. Like, okay, that's a very generalized statement. I'm sure some people struggle.
Okay, well, no, I don't think they did. And I think that's why we have this podcast, is because just like all the even conversations and I have with my mother-in-law is like, she's just starting to share stuff that she never, ever, ever, ever shared.
Talk about it as much.
When she's sharing stuff with me, and when my mom shares stuff with me, and when other women share stuff, they're not telling me that it was just easier for women to handle back then. They're actually telling me that they pushed it deep down inside and didn't talk about it for decades because they didn't have anyone to talk about it to. It was difficult to talk about. There weren't a lot of resources, and it was so hard to go through that they just had to like push it down. And now it's starting to come back up, and now they're just dealing with it. So like, I do think that that's the importance of anything in today's day and age of discussing it, because we cannot control life, but I don't wish delayed healing on anybody. Yeah. Like I don't.
Yeah. It just helps. Like it already feels helpful to talk about it. I know this isn't out in the world yet, but will be.
Do you feel better when you this
tell
is so
people?
Sick, but or like if someone says, oh, but this baby was IVF, or like I'm going through it too, it's like you don't want them to struggle as well, but it makes you feel like it's not you or your fault or your body's problem.
Our doctor was amazing and graciously shared with us that her 3, this keeps me going too, like her 3 babies are all IVF. And so that's like, I think at one point I was like, just that's when I was super hesitant about IVF. She was like, well, my 3 are, just like casually. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like when I started sharing with neighbors and stuff, they were like, oh, so-and-so is. And I was like, oh my God, they're a lot more common than we think, especially now. Right. And especially with the internet now that people can share about it. And I just like, I saw in people when I would tell somebody in person, I saw like a look in their eye of just feeling less alone. And that's truly like why I'm like, okay, it's time for me to talk about it. Like I have a platform. That's why like you see the influencers that like, it's almost like a fucking blessing in disguise because they're able to like make people feel less alone.
That's the whole point.
I'm like that. I owe that. I guess like, and I feel guilty for not sharing with you guys. And I know I do like a variety of content. And I guess like I could have shared right when we were like back last year. I could have shared this a long time ago. And I feel guilty for not sharing our struggles.
That's not fair to yourself.
That's the thing. I was like,
why would you say that to yourself?
I just was like, I don't want it to dictate my content. I don't want to be.
Everything's not about content. Like you're a human.
Yeah. And I just also, I know earlier in this episode I said like, I don't get annoyed by people's suggestions, but anyone going through fertility struggles can relate to the fact that like, it does get like people trying to help sometimes. It's like laughable and it does get annoying. I know I'm contradicting myself, but I remember like the best is people being like, have you tried just like relaxing? And especially when you're told by literal doctors that relaxing's not going to work. Like,
well, that's, yeah.
I know we're jumping around, but like people will. And again, like everyone's human. That's why I don't fault people for like doing their best to try to help. But yeah, I guess I just like didn't share because I didn't want those kind of suggestions and I don't regret not sharing sooner. But I do, my hope is that like talking about this can help people relate, and what better place to talk about it than here on this podcast? Because truly I know there's probably many of you out there that are going through this and or something similar. And yeah, I just like feel like it's a safe space. Now in the process, just to give you guys a current state, now that this is out there, I might start actually sharing more and talking about it. Like might also not. Like I don't want it to like consume who I am. I am more than this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So,
you share what helps you and not anything more.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even though everybody asks me about babies every 5 seconds, but again, I don't fault them on that either because I shared my whole fucking wedding. So I just like, I get why people want to ask about babies. And they're just excited for me. But also it's like,
I understand that sometimes sharing in totality comes with its benefits of support, especially like if you're online. Mm-hmm. But one thing I really believe is like there is a give and take, and it is not worth it if it's going to take more than you can give. And so if there's a lot of power in going through something and then sharing it. I know that that's not as well received like on the internet if you're going to come from like a content perspective, because it's more relatable to share things as you go through them and da-da-da. But like if you look at the mental health toll that it takes on those individuals, even after everybody's consumed your content and they've moved on, the mental health toll it takes on those individuals is really huge. And I argue, like, is that worth it? Like, was that worth it? Like, if you couldn't have like been so successful in sharing that content, but you could have saved your own healing process and your own mental health, and you could have had a better relationship with whatever was going on, would you have chosen that route instead? Like, not,
right. At the end of the day, like, yeah, you've got to protect your own peace, whatever that means.
Thanks for sharing with us.
So
what are you doing now?
Yeah, so now it's Thursday. Right? Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday, yeah.
It is Wednesday. Now I think we're going to jump right into a second cycle because there's research shows that it can potentially have additive effects if you do a back-to-back cycle. And I've talked to multiple people who have gotten a lot more embryos successfully and eggs frozen their second round. So gonna go into another. I guess as soon as my period starts. Again, we have to like call the doctor and make sure it's all lined up. I don't even have the medicine ready or anything like that. So that's on the to-do list for later today, among many other things. But yeah, I'll be jumping into another and praying for just like more embryos that are like healthy and good. Like I'll feel really good if we have a good solid number that can pretty much guarantee us 3 eventual healthy babies. And I feel like there's probably more I wanted to say throughout this whole thing, but I don't know what that is. Sorry if this was all over the place. Thank you for just like listening and being there for me throughout this whole process, because you really have been a great person in my life throughout this.
Stop. I love you.
And wish us luck. Oh, and then I guess like, yeah, I'll keep everybody updated on what happens and when. Like that's where the conflicted feelings are coming in too, because I'm like, okay, ideally we get all these healthy embryos ready to go, then we can everybody's asking the question of when will we actually be pregnant, and that's where I'm like, I don't know. I can't give anybody, including myself, an answer on that, because I mean, again, we'd be happy at any point. I will probably do it sooner than later, but also you never know what could happen. Like
you're separating doing what's right for you guys and your future family from your like current desire. Yes. So those two things can exist separately.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I probably will. Like I do
but
want.
maybe just get through this and then.
That's the thing. Like
why you don't have to decide that just so you can give us an answer.
Yeah.
That's not
true. And when you get the news that it's going to be like borderline impossible for you guys to conceive naturally together, like that's when you just want to be able to guarantee that one day you will be able to make that family happen. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying right now. Next step is guaranteeing.
Okay.
So keep you guys posted on the guarantee.
We love you.
Love you.
You're doing this all so strongly, and you don't, have to.
Thank you.
I wish you would cry more. I don't like to see you cry. It actually makes me cry, which took me by surprise.
I know. I'm
not somebody that like cries because other people cry, but when you cry, it makes me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. but you don't let yourself feel all the time, so
that's the thing. Well, like I didn't think I was gonna get emotional in this conversation, but I'm running on 5 seconds of sleep.
Yeah,
that's another symptom of IVF. Apparently, it fucks up with your sleep.
Really?
But it's really like don't for anybody about.
You're
to
already
go
an insomniac.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah. For anyone about to go through it, know that you're fortunate to be able to, and it's not as bad as the internet makes it look. But it also, like, is okay if it's bad for you, then, like...
Yeah. Support system.
Yeah. The first thing I said when I woke up from my egg retrieval was, I'm gluten-free, and I don't remember saying that.
She did text that to us. She said, I just told them I'm gluten-free.
It's really funny. Okay, but, yeah, feel free to ask questions.
Here's the thing, too. Like, you just said you're sure that there's a lot more that you wanted to say. You just don't know what that is. I feel like it's... Think about it, write it down, and at any point that you just like want to share something.
Yeah.
I think now it's like an open door.
Yeah. Yeah, like this won't be the last time we ever speak of this.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. It's like when you compartmentalize the parts of your life that you aren't ready to share as you're going through them, you sort of push it down rather than like having the escape to be able to say it to everybody. And now that door is open, those things might start to sneak back out and sneak back in. And maybe it'll feel a little freeing for you to be in conversation and be able to reference like an experience or a feeling that you had that you don't have to tell yourself like, but I can't share that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope that those things
I pretty much fucking told everybody on the podcast before this. I feel like there were teasers. There were signs.
Yeah.
There,
But,
on that note, this episode's been long. Okay.
okay, guys.
I'm
we
sweating.
love you. Nikki, we
love
really
you.
love you too.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to let Nikki take a nap or something because it's been a long week. But we
that
love you
won't
guys.
happen.
And we will see you next week.
Woo!